Yes, it's that time again. Between Halloween and Christmas, it's the Art Sound Off Challenge. Now, for those of you new around here, Art Sound Off is a mini podcasting channel by Jersey Rose and Rob Stenzing, formerly of the Lean Into Artcast, who wanted to create a post-Inktober challenge. As they work as much in podcasting as they do in comics and their other activities, for example, Rob is a video game designer and UI designer, while Jersey is a comic instructor. They opted for a mini podcast, and they invited others to start a podcasting channel on one of the various audio hosting services and discuss your art thing, as well as the things you think about as a comic creator. My perspective has come from a writer, just figuring out the art side as well as a media critic, and a general fan of comics. Also, I didn't see a point in getting an audio host I'd only be using for this challenge, so I posted vlogs on YouTube. Nothing fancy, those you can see. This year I will be playing with OBS to learn some of its features. I plan to do something with it in the future. The rules are quite simple. 5 to 10 minutes discussing your art day and the things you think about when making comics. Story, art, coloring, lettering. It'd be nice to have an editor pop up to explain what he or she is looking for, but mostly it's for the creative side. You can do one day, all 30 days in November, something in between, maybe sometime in March. I'll probably miss that one. It's up to you. You don't even have to post it to say you took part, though. If you do, know that your first entry of the year will be put into a special edition of the Saturday Night Showcase feature on my site at the beginning of the month, with a link to your host of choice, website, YouTube, Anchor FM, whatever you're using. Last year, I was the only one who took part, so it seemed. So if you put the Art Sound Off hashtag into a tweet, I'll probably see it and add you to the showcase article. Now I'm going to tag a few people I'd like to see take part, and I would really love to see some of the previous participants come back in as well. I like seeing what goes through other creators' minds. Hopefully, with my major medical issues behind me outside of the Crohn, sinus issues, and kidney stone, I'm hoping to finally move forward with stuff. I was hoping to do a prelude video before November started, but that didn't work out. These are some of the things that I'll be talking about this year: technical issues, my goals, and everything else. So that's kind of what my theme is going to be. I'll get more into that tomorrow. I'll have to wait for because this this is actually taking less time than I thought. Yeah, I put this in a script because I'm kind of boring on my own. In fact, my first run through of this was just so rambly that I just killed it, and it was too close to bedtime to try again. So that's why we're doing it this way. But if you want to look at artsoundoff.com, you'll find that there's a series of prompts if you don't have any ideas on what to share. And of course, and if you want to see my articles and comics, I put an archive for my regular strip and separate. And I have an archive for my regular strip, then I have a separate one this year for other projects. You can head over to bwspotlight.com. Now, for any of you who are worried, this is purely about you making your comics. This isn't about attacking other creators or big companies or this or that group. It's simply about what you think about when you come up with a character, when you design a character, when you write a character, when you draw a character, the color choices, the story ideas, the location, everything you think about in the creation process. That's what I want to hear. And I realize that that as a commentator, I do talk about a bunch of our stuff. This time is purely about you and your comic creating journey. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in Art Sound Off. The rest of the reviews and commentaries, whatever, I'll do in the articles. So you can check that out at bwspotlight.com. If you'd like to talk about your art creating experience, especially now with this, there's been kind of I'm off script right now, but there's been like a huge influx of independent creators lately, and they've been doing really good. So I would really love to hear some of their secrets, how their Indiegogos and Kickstarter were successful, what they were thinking about when they created, how they built an audience to have somebody ready to see if they practice what they preach. These are the kind of things I've always found interesting in Soundoff. I've even made a few friends through the project, through the past, or friends and acquaintances. And I'd love to see. I like the Jersey Rob come back. They started this thing. I'd like to see responses from Robin White, Owen Jolins, Cindy Ishii. There was one participant, Ava, who when she put stuff out, she actually inspired me to make as a her articles kind of became became prompts to some of my posts. So I'd love to see her come back. Robin White, uh, Lucifer Storm, and there's a whole bunch of other people that I would love to see some new blood like to come in. Chris Fearson, Diga, even some that would seem controversial, but they've make comics. They've been successful. I'd like to hear their secrets. I like to hear how Shadiversity handled transferring from novels to comics. I'd love to hear Dan Fan talk about having her own web comic download service with her and her friends. I'd like to hear what Literature Devil learned from one program from his first graphic novel to bring it to his second graphic novel, and then he's working on a third and a fourth one. And I actually finally came up with an idea for my first graphic novel, at least the first one I can get paid for. I'll talk about that. Oh, okay. I did this off the back of a. Okay, I did that on the back of an old Catholic PSA. All right, I just confused myself. Sorry. But these are people who have been successful. These people who not just talked about it, but actually made it. Linkara. I'd like to. He tried making a few comics. That didn't work out. I'd like to see what he learned from that in the project that he does today. Vigas, who does his title cards, and she talks about making comics. I like to hear. So she already kind of does what Art Soundoff does in vlogs, but or not in vlogs, but articles with production stuff. So, these are the people that I follow. These are the people who interest me. I think I mentioned Chris Pierce at Popcar Studios, and he's actually combined his stories with his artwork, based on an old book idea that he had. I'd love to hear him talk about how he comes up with the ideas for his shows, the character designs, the software he uses, and how he brought multiverse tales from these books into these speed draw videos. I think it would be quite fascinating. Thing with Dr. Crafty and some of the stuff that he's done. So these are the people that I would really like to see take part this year. Well, I know there's one more person I know he's way too busy, so I'm not going to mention him. And he may be way more controversial than even some of the ones I've already mentioned. But these are the people that I'd like to see take part. And I'd like to see the old crowd come back. I'd like to see some new blood. Because I'd like to learn things. I want to get into comic creation. I've had so many setbacks. I could definitely use some help getting forward. But we'll see who takes part and who doesn't. And hopefully, if you're out there and you want to discuss your art day, or if you just want to follow the Art Soundoff challenge to see what other people are saying, like I said, go to Twitter, look for the hashtag Art Soundoff, and the first participant and the first podcast that they podcast or vlog that they make, I will post to my website, bwspotlight.com. You can also see my comics and videos in action. Comics in action. But until then, see you tomorrow. I think I just did everything I was going to. We'll talk more about this stuff. And until then, and hopefully I won't be this rambly. I'll try to have a longer script so I can stay on topic and be less rambly. And I'm still also hoping to do some reviews. I'll talk about all that tomorrow. For now, I wish you all happy creating.